Hello everybody, my name is Ethan of Coffee Break Gaming, and welcome back to another I forgot to play the music. Gosh. I'm pretty sure we can do that in post, right? Like, we can put the music in.
I always do my music in post.
Okay, thank God. But, yeah, welcome to another tier list video. This time, we are conquering the FE6 classes, which I guess if we did want to loop all the GBA classes into one video, we could, but hey, each class has a different niche and different games, so we might as well start here. And today, I am joined by a very illustrious guest in the Fire Emblem YouTubing space.
Hello. Oh, I thought... Whatever, it's fine, whatever. They get the point, they get the point. They probably started the title anyways. It's not like we need to have a lot of fanfare for this.
Fair enough, but still, pleasure to have you on. Pleasure to start talking with you for the first time. Like this, at least. I already said all this to you before the recording started. This is how nervous I am, because of course I was nervous when it came to Kuroi, but this is you we're talking about. You were
okay. I need you to stop gassing me up that much, because it's really not. I'm not that big. I feel like
this, man.
I'm like the Theseus's ship of Fire Emblem content creators. Like, I started off with like a small viewer base of my own, and then over time, like, I got a bunch of viewers from Zoran, a bunch of viewers from Rangor, a bunch of viewers from all over the place, and now it's basically like my viewer base is like. It's borderline unrecognizable. I got like a bunch of viewers from like one of my most viewed videos of all time is a one-shot shit post that I made about Umineko, which I've never followed up on ever. So it's like, my viewer base is very unrecognizable from where it started, and I think that's how I wanted it to be always. So,
fair enough, but still, you got me into like a Fire Emblem YouTubing, I guess. Since, let me just say this, you're the biggest inspiration I could have had. So, I'm gassing you up with good reason.
There's no shot.
Yes! You and Zoran were like some of my biggest inspirations. So...
That's... Jesus Christ. Has it really been that long?
Lag, because you were wondering? Yes. The final video released on August 18th, 2021. So, yeah. It's been a while. I've been a fan for that long. Worth it. I got introduced to your content. I got introduced to your content because of Zoran and you going through the Fate skills.
Yeah, I'm still very thankful for Zoran for that. I've been basically trying to make my I've been basically trying to like make my way in the world ever since then. That was like the first like big launching off point for my channel.
You succeeded.
I'm glad that I'm able to. Hopefully that I'm able to do that for you as well. But I have to say, this is kind of an insane thing to do, because you picked me for FE6, which is, I'm like the most notorious just hater of FE6 probably in the world. And I've looked far and wide. I've found a person. I've had a hard time finding anybody that hates this goddamn game more than I do. I've been talking shit about it since the pandemic, I guess.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's become part of my reputation. And I wouldn't have it any other way, basically. But I will say that because of how many, I've probably spent like, I don't know, like 400 hours talking about how much I hate this game. So over the years, I've learned a lot about the game, as I just basically had to, because the more you hate something, the more you learn, the more you know about it.
Yeah.
This is the game that I've played the second most after Conquest, which is very sad.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, like, I do like hate playthroughs every single time, and I'm like, this game sucks so much ass. Why do I keep playing it? And then I keep playing it. This is not like a tsundere thing. I genuinely don't like this game, but like I have to like. There's so many times where I have to like go back into my goddamn save file to prove a point in an argument that I'm having.
That is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to this game. I kind of like it, but I am really starting to hate it as of recent. Because, I know I alluded to this in the last video that I did with, Kuroi, and I also told you guys about this in the, FETuber chat that we have, but I am doing a, Fire Emblem 6 Swords Only Run challenge, and I gotta say, oh my god, this game was not friggin' built for it. It was not built for swords only.
It was built for a lot of things, honestly. It wasn't built for having fun.
Boy, ain't that the truth. We'll get to a certain unit when it comes to that regard later. But, tangents on that aside, seriously, go and check out Lag's work. He does seriously amazing crap, and this is gonna be very interesting. So, should we just go in like the order that we have here, or do you have a good starting off point?
Just pick a class, it's fine.
All right. So, actually, let's start with one of the first that you get. Lord. Okay.
It's
so
bad.
Here's the
it's
thing.
It's weird because like it's a game that doesn't have like reclassing, so you have to judge a class based on the merits of the units that it comes on. Like for example, like if there was a unit with like decent if there was a unit with decent stats that joined you in Archer would probably be a pretty good class, but there isn't. So like the Klein is good, but he's a sniper. Like Gren is good, but she's a sniper. The only archers you get are like Volt and Dorothy. So you have to judge the class partially based on the units that come in it, and Roy's the only unit that shows up in Lord, and it's bad.
I will say
rapier
that
access is fine, but it doesn't work in this game because you can't use it on Nomad Troopers and shit.
You can't use it on Nomadic Troopers and the Valkyries.
Yeah, Troopers and Valkyries. Yeah, you can't use it on those. The only units you can use it on are like the Knight line and the Cavalier line. It's just not a good class, really. The class bases are not good. The HP is really low. It doesn't help. The fact of the matter is that swords are a good weapon type in this game, but you need something else to make a sword class work. Like for example, even Hero is not like that great of a class. The reason like Swordmaster is able to work is because of its access to crit. Paladin has extra movement to make swords work. Stuff like that. Like Lord has absolutely none of those qualities.
I will say though, it does have a niche, specifically in hard mode, because Roy, I think at base is like the third highest strength unit out of the entirety of the party that you have in Chapter 1, which is absurd to me, because I think he's tied with like Lance or something when it comes to a strength base. I think I might be right on that, which is like having a strength base that big is wild, because starting off in like a early hard mode for FE6, it is really good to have a strength stat early on, as well as a speed stat, and thankfully Roy has both. The problem is his story-based promotion is really holding him back, because you're gonna have him promoted, and you're gonna have him at level 20 by the time that he hits. I've gotten him to level 20 in Chapter 10 before, but I know that it happens later.
I'm like level 16 on the Isles, and then I'm like, after this, I'm not gonna, I can't be bothered leveling him up anymore.
Well, the reason, I think I got him to like level 20 in Chapter 10 on the playthrough that I just told you guys about.
I played swords only. Yeah, that's.
At least Roy has a niche there because of the fact that he's one of the best users of the light brand. Then again,
I think the only
so is everybody.
Is that like he has the exclusive rapier access, and rapier is like kind of strong. Like you can use it on like Chapter 4 occasionally to deal some good damage to some cabs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his hit rate's going to be bad because of the weapon triangle disadvantage against lance cabs. But there are some sword cavaliers that he can use it against, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Not only that, but against some Armor Knights, he is able to do some serious damage.
Yeah, but like at that point, like, the problem with doing that at like weapon triangle disadvantage is that the GB games actually have a pretty strong weapon triangle. It's 1 might and 15 hit, and when you're at weapon triangle disadvantage, you lose might on your weapon. So when you have effective weapon, you lose 3 might, 3 attack basically. So like, it's kind of
yeah. Even with
I think
all
it's
that
just, like,
though,
clear.
he does have a niche.
Easy D tier.
It is a very easy D tier, but at the very least, I would say that he's a high D tier, because there is another class that I feel is just straight up worse.
I guess we can just go on to Master Lord. I think Master Lord is, I mean, it's an upgrade.
It's
not much of
definitely
an
an
upgrade.
upgrade.
Like, it lets you kill Idun, but that's about it, really. Like the Master Lord only like works because Fa is so bad. Like the only reason you ever get any use out of this class is because 1, you need Roy to see, so him having extra movement is good, so you put boots on him, and 2, the Binding Blade is fucking broken, and it's way better dealing with Idun than Fa is.
Yeah.
Because they're the only 2 that have effective weaponry on it.
And
effective damage, the Idun.
And even then, like, Roy... Everybody is able to do what Roy is able to do at that point. And better, to a certain degree. Because...
Right, like, against every other enemy in the game, Roy's worse. Against, specifically, Idun, Roy's better.
Yeah.
And, admittedly, he's a lot better.
He's significantly better than everybody else at that.
Because he has, like, what, 18 times... He has a 54 might weapon against Idun. Nobody else has anything even close to that.
Nobody can get close.
I think the Dragonstone, what?
The Dragonstone has 50 uses, but I think 30 mites? I think?
No, so it's 16 might. So it's effectively... So
okay.
that's a 48... No, 16 times 3? Yeah, 48 might weapon instead of 54. And, like, leveling up Fa is even more of a pain than leveling up Roy, because at least Roy's force deployed.
At the very least, though, she is, like, super effective against the dragons in the map before, so you can use her for that, but at the very least...
she's a true ending condition. Another just fabulous idea from this fucking game.
Yeah.
Make an extremely bad unit of, like, a true ending condition, and also it's, like, the only dragon unit you get, but if you try to use a cool class, you just get punished for it. And the Binding Blade is 20 uses, so if you try to use it against regular dragon enemies or, like, wyverns, well, you're not going to have it for Idun, which is another great decision.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just make all the legendary weapons infinite use.
I'm trying to compare, like, the promotion gains. Now, okay, hold up.
Isn't it literally just, like, a worse hero, I think?
Well, I'm trying to I'm looking at the promotion gains.
Great.
Let's see.
Lord promotion. Oh, sorry if you guys hear a rumbling, by the way. Yeah, I had to retreat into the laundry room because it has the best acoustics, and guess what's on right now? The washer.
Right. What the fuck is that? I think they have the Lord class listed incorrectly. What is it? Did they have it listed as Great Lord?
Yeah,
it's not Great Lord, it's Master Lord. Okay, whatever. Compared to he gets what, 6 HP on promotion, 2 strength, 3 skill, 2 speed, 2 defense, 5 resistance. Oh wow, really helpful. 2 con and 1 movement. Yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad. I put it even worse than, because like the difference between Lord and Master Lord is like Rapier versus Binding Blade, which is like, okay, dude, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing the true ending, then it's even worse because you get it from one chapter.
You only have 1 chapter. Which,
well, 2 chapters technically. If you could do 21x and not do the true ending.
Right. Yeah.
So like 1 or 2 chapters you get that shit for. But no, just put it below the base Lord.
It hurts because by all technicality it is an upgrade, but it's not that much of an upgrade. Okay.
What do you want to do next?
You know what? Let's get this trash class out of the way.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Let's get Thief out of the way here.
Okay, Thief has literally any utility at all. Like, there's some stuff that you can steal in this game that is valuable mildly. Like, you can get the Delphi shield from Narshin. You can get an extra hero crest from Zephiel. What a great place to put the hero crest, by the way, on the antagonist of 90% of the game.
I mean, he's the hero that the Manicheets needed, so I guess that works. But even then,
there's a lot of stuff you can steal. There's like some gems and stuff like that. There's like a red gem on a sniper in the last Western Isles arc.
Yeah, which I guess that does lead to a little bit of utility that this class desperately needs. However, there is a lot that is holding this class back. Combat-wise, it is absolutely atrocious. When it comes to movement, it's classic footlock movement. It doesn't even have best access when it doesn't even have that good utility with Lightbrand, and honestly, the only thing that's working for it is that there's a loss.
If you're talking about combat class, you're absolutely right. Thief is completely awful. I think that, reasonably speaking, though, like I think that's reasonable, because like it's not supposed to be a combat class. It's a utility class entirely. You get this class because you need somebody to open up your chests. You get this class because you need somebody to steal some stuff, and it's good at doing that. And the nice thing is you don't need any speed requirements in this game to steal. Thieves can't promote, but you don't need to have more speed than your enemy to steal the way you do in FE7 and FE8. So even if you literally only unbench your thief when you need something stolen, they can always do it.
Yeah. And there are a lot... Okay, I guess there are a lot of chests, too. And Chapter 14.
The D class are classes that don't have a redeeming quality. And, like, if I could get away with undeploying Roy and still beat the game, I would. I would... Every single run of FE6, I still deploy my thief. Even though I don't want to because their combat sets are bad, like, I still get use out of them.
Yeah. I guess C tier works. I'm sorry. I have been harmed by thieves lately.
I mean, if you're trying to use Chad, I mean, like, I will say that the thieves have some weird... That they have really good growths because they can only get to level 20. But, like, I mean, if you're trying to use Chad as a combat unit, you're setting yourself up for failure.
It's not just Chad, though. Like, I've tried using Astolfo and Kath. Yes, I have tried using Kath as a combat unit. It's bad idea. Don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, that should be obvious. They're not combat units.
Yeah.
I think it's fine for what it does. For what else? But for everything else, there's MasterCard. You know.
Yeah.
Can we move on to? Okay, we gotta move on to Mage, because I think Mage is like a low key. Mage it should be an S tier class. Mage has absolutely everything going for it in this game. The systems of the game support it so well, but you just don't get any good mages. The thing is, okay, let's say...
I mean, right, there is Lou and
also
Molina.
The game just decides to fuck you over with your guiding ring, with a lack of guiding ring access.
That is
so
fair,
mages are pretty, like, they don't have a lot of constitution, but that doesn't matter, because tomes in this game are, like, even lighter than they are in FE7.
Yeah.
Mage has access to some of the most accurate weaponry in the entire game. The Fire Tome is 95 accuracy, which I think is the most accurate any weapon in this game is, FE6.
I think so, yeah.
And it hits on res, and despite FE6 enemies having really inflated stats, they still don't have res.
Res is the worst, yeah.
Yeah, you have the Fire Tome, which is great. It's 5 might, 30 uses, 95 hit. You really can't ask for much more. If you really need some extra might, you can go for like the Thunder Tome. It's 80 hit, so it's a lot less hit, but it does give you a little bit of extra might. I would never use the Alfire. And then there's Air Caliber, which lets you actually like deal good damage to flying units because it has 24 might. And the Foreblaze has 85 hit and 14 might and gives you +5 luck, which means that it actually has 90 hit. And it's effective against a ton of enemies that you want it to be effective against. Unfortunately, all the units that you can get that can use anima are bad. Like all the units that you can get, even post like legitimately, Lilina is the only one that can actually like one-hit KO Wyverns with Air Caliber. Cecilia sometimes has problems even hitting her attacks against Wyverns. She has like 70 hit against promoted Wyverns, 85 against unpromoted Wyverns.
Cecilia's a Valkyrie.
Hugh post promotion can one hit KO.
Well, hold on a second. Cecilia's Valkyrie though.
He cannot do anything to promoted wyverns. He can do like 75% of the HP to promoted wyverns if he hits. Lou is actually very good if you get a little bit lucky with his level ups, but the problem is that like Lou is a unit where the more you put into him, the better he is. If you put like 4 full chapters worth of EXP into him, he's gonna be your best unit by a mile, and it's gonna be worth it. But the problem is that like you don't have a lot of access to fire tomes, and they're low-key kind of expensive. 420 gold is like you get a lot of gold, but if you're buying like a ton of fire tomes so Luke can chip down enemies, it's kind of a pain.
Yeah.
And his promotion is not that great. The Sage promotion, by all means, if I recall correctly, it doesn't give you any speed.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Luke. The Sage promotion gives you it gives you 4 strength, 4 magic, and 1 speed, which is kind of a pain. If it gave like 4 magic 2 speed, or like even better like 2 magic 4 speed, it would be really nice, because if you can double a wyvern as a mage, you can kill them, but you can't reliably double wyverns with mages unless you put a lot of work into them. Lilina is the only one that can actually do it, and we all know how painful Lilina is to use and find deployment for.
I've used like Lilina pretty consistently in the past, but even then, I will fully admit that she is a rough unit starting off.
Yeah, like she
Cecilia's a Valkyrie.
Yeah, Cecilia is just a god-awful combat unit. And Mecha, I will fight you on this. I'm not. Its redeeming combat quality is that they can get 75 hit on an enemy that they can't one-hit KO. I don't want to hear any of that shit.
Wow, calling out Mecha. Alrighty.
Yeah, if he ever sees this, like, I will fight him on this. I don't care. I've spent too much time with Cecilia to think that she's good anymore.
Unless you send this to him, there is no way in Hiffle that he's ever gonna find this.
There's a chance you never know, right?
I mean, there is a chance.
It's like he's got the problem of like if you want to go fast in FE6 because you want to play the game as little as possible, because that's the way. Because if the game punishes you for playing it more by like because there's a lot of ambush spawns and like reinforcements and stuff like that. So you want to play the game less. So Clarine has a hard time like getting getting the stuff that she wants, because with the optimal setup for Clarine is like a Rutger support in a bush using a fire tome, and she actually legitimately can't be hit by the enemies. And she'll build enough weapon rank to get to like an air caliber, for example, by like the late game. Like on chapter 21, if you've actually been using Clarine in combat, she'll be doubling the wyverns with air caliber.
I mean, if you're also using like the triangle trifecta of Rutger, Deke, and Clarine, she can't even get hit. She can't even get hit either, and she's gonna be critting a lot too because Dark stacked with lightning.
Clarine and Rutger, because an A support gives you what 15 avoid, and she has a lot. Her 2 stats are speed and luck.
Yeah.
So if you like level her up to like level 15, promote her, by the late game she's gonna be handling wyverns. That's the only time I've had somebody that can like reliably like 1-round wyverns, except for this one time that I had a Lug that was like really good, and he was such a great unit.
Yeah. The only reason why I would like go out of my way to support her with Deke is because Deke also provides an offensive boost that is really good for her as well. So,
does he have Thunder Affinity?
Yeah, he does.
That doesn't give us attack, it gives crit.
Crit's still really good on her.
I mean, it's fine, but I think that I mean, if Deke was like Fire Affinity or Wind Affinity, I would be much more on board with it.
Yeah. Granted, I think she does get a Fire Affinity. I think. Hold on.
That's actually another thing that I forgot, is that like aside from Clarine, who doesn't really need any hit fixing, the mages have some pretty good affinities. Actually, I guess Hugh has Dark Affinity, or does he have Ice? No, I think he has Ice Affinity. But like his supports are slow as fucking. If he's 6, Hugh has Darker Light. Oh, he's Wind Affinity. I'm trolling. But like his supports are like insanely slow. You're actually slowing down your run to do that. Lou has supports with a lot of pretty decent units. Like he has supports with Milady. He has support with Ellen if you're using her for some reason.
I mean, Ellen's pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, I heavy disagree on that. He has supports. He has supports with Ray, Ellen, Hugh, Milady, Chad. So like Milady, even the Milady support by itself is good because he has a Fire Affinity. So Fire plus anything is a good support. And Lilina, she has like an insanely fast Roy support, and Firelight is an absurdly fast support, absurdly good support. It's like Fire is the best, and Firelight is the second best.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of good stuff coming from like all the mage classes. Like, obviously there's a staff utility from clerics, bishops, troubadours, valkyries, sages, and shamans when they promote from their base classes. And staffs are really good. Like, anybody that's able to wield the warp staff is just so good. But you need to work up to that.
The mage just suffered. Also, we were talking about mage, so Clarine shouldn't even be involved. Like, mage is like, first of all, you get like no guiding rings straight up, so that's a pain. The units that you get in mage, only one of them is like really like even like you could even consider promoting. That's Hugh, and he costs you just an absurd amount of money. There's so much going against it. I still don't think it's a bad class, because I mean, like, Lug he's got some good chip early game. If you want to deploy Lilina, she's gonna get that Roy support, and she's gonna be doing surprisingly decent damage, and she has an easy time leveling up on the Western Isles because the enemies don't have a lot of avoid, stuff like that.
Not only that, but they don't have any res, like, basically none. And again, Hugh's basically ready-made for this, so...
But, like, he joins a lot later, that's the main problem. I would put it in the B tier, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess because Sage is promoted... Okay, because of the fact that it has staff access, I think it would be an A.
If this game, if you had like a Sale equivalent, like a pre-promoted Sage, oh my god, this game would be so much better if you had a pre-promoted Sage. It's not even funny. Just somebody with like A Anima C staves. I would actually like enjoy the mid game of this game if you got like a promoted Sage.
God,
it would make my life so much easier.
Instead, you get Cecilia that. Why didn't they make Cecilia a promoted Sage?
If she had like good stats, then she would be the same thing basically. Yeah. But she doesn't, so.
Okay. I guess while we're on the tangent of magic,
okay, one of them is good. One of them is laughably bad. Ray is like unironically like that's my guy. I'm gonna stick up for him. He's not a bad unit.
I have never used Ray in my life.
The main problem with him is actually deployment.
Yeah, that's why I've never used Ray. Ray, like, there are so many better units that you can have in general. Like, we've mentioned Deke, Rutger is obvious. Heck, even like Bartre and Fur, if you're going for that. And obviously a lot of other ridiculously good characters are just clogging up the slots. Heck, most of them are mounted units. And look, if there's anything that I'm going to say when we get to the other mage classes, look, if you have a mount in this game, you're instantly great.
You're instantly at least like viable, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can like Noah is just a god awful unit, but he's good, but based solely on the fact that he has a horse. Like
I wouldn't even say that he's god awful. If you have the money
to buy a horse, you instantly become like a top. It's like have well, I was gonna say no. It's like the modern day CS computer science field. Like if you have like AI. If you have like AI research on your belt, you're instantly in among the top higher candidates. It's a very skewed field, is what I would put it. I will say, okay, I'm gonna stick up for Ray. Okay, he's not a great unit, but he's not bad. His support's not so free. He has an Emiss, but that's like the only support that he can do anything with. But it's super late. The what he's good at is the fact that first of all, Dark Mage in this game, the Dark Mage classes have a big problem with hitting things, especially Sophia, but. Flux and Nosferatu are the most accurate tomes, and they're well, Apocalypse is 80%, but Flux and Nosferatu are 70% each. So a lot of times it's a little hard to make use of. However, Ray has he's 9 skill, which is not great, but it's not bad. He joins on the last chapter of Western Isles, and there's still plenty of like not that dodgy enemies on that chapter, and He can use the Nosferatu immediately if you really need him to, though he's probably not going to be doing a lot of work with it. He joins at level 12, so if you really want to insta-promo him, you can. But the main thing is that he has like 45% magic, 55% skill, 40% speed is pretty good for a Dark Mage.
It is pretty good, I'm not going to lie, but...
Strength, he gets 2 speed off promotion, unlike his brother.
Yeah. Which, I'm not going to lie, that is really good. His biggest problem, though, other than, like, his ability to be put on teams, is the fact that there is just a better unit that comes later in the same class line. Yes, I'm saying Nami's better.
I could have 2 in this game. If I could have 2 good shamans, the more the merrier. Having good magic users are at a premium in this game.
Yes.
And as many of them as I can get is happy. I still don't think it's a good class. I would put this in this like C tier above.
Agreed.
Above. Because I mean, there's also
Instantly agreed.
so like she's like dragging down the class average.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Nime gets a druid up into what is it, the S tier
A.
maybe? I'm trying to look at the classes.
I'm saying either A or S because dear God, Nami's good.
Sage. Either we move Sage down or we put druid in S. There's just no way S Sage and
Done.
Sage and druid in the same tier.
Done.
Okay, all right.
Look, here's the thing, Nami, just Nami. Like
Name is the archer from FE8.
Right, sorry. Either way, she has one of the highest staff accesses at when the time she joins, which is kind of really good.
Yeah, I mean she has like what 20 magic, it's like 25 magic and like 80 rank staves. You can get some use out of the unit like that. And if you Nosferatu tank for her with a little bit, which there are some reliable setups for, she can get to Apocalypse rank, which lets her get +5 extra, like +2 range on all of her staves. I think +3 if she starts. What's her base magic? Is it an odd number?
I think it's an odd one, yeah.
Yes, it is. So she gets +3 warp range from having access to from getting Apocalypse in her inventory and equipping it,
which is really damn good.
Yeah,
like obscenely good.
And in this game, I will say this game has very, very accessible physics staves. And physics is very good too.
Oh my God, yes. Not to mention
there's one thing that I will never
the offensive staves
for, and it's assistive physics staves. I love physics as it's my favorite staff, and this game has physics staves all over the place.
Yes. Not only that, but they are literally just the most effective healing staff in this entire game. So, honestly, there is... Like, if there is any class that tops S tier, I'm glad it's Shaman. Because, God, it's amazing.
Now, if Nime was a Sage, she would be even better, but that's beside the point. Okay, moving on to what do you want to do next? You want to do Manakete?
I mean, honestly, not really, because
what do you want to do?
you're gonna find the entirety of the fan base is going to call me crazy for this, but I feel like Knight in general deserve to be in B tier.
Oh my God.
In B tier?
In B tier.
You're tripping. Wait, why?
Let me explain. First of all, Knights have perfect availability in this game. You literally get one the second the game starts in Chapter 1. Not only that, but they also have hard mode utility. Because you get... Well, obviously, there's Boars who has some ridiculously good defense, which in hard mode is kind of a godsend. There's also the fact that the Knight that you get at the very start is really tanky as well, meaning that you are able to use him as a wall. Not only that, but I know that this is going to sound crazy, but as somebody who has used Wendy full-time, ever since I started playing this game, she is basically a paladin in Knight form. And
I don't know, man. See, if what you said was correct, I would agree with you. The problem is, Boars joins you with 20 HP and 3 speed, so he's getting doubled in hard mode. That's the main problem. If you didn't get doubled, I would be like, he's not a bad unit. Like you could get some use out of him, because he has a decent skill growth. He has a good luck. He'll be fine. The problem again is that that's not the case. The reality of the situation is that Boars gets doubled. Wendy just dies to everything, and the only even half decent one is Barth, and he can't hit the broadside of a barn. Douglas is a general, so we're not counting him.
Yes, we'll get to Douglas in a minute.
Yeah, the problem is like Boars is just again, he has 4 skill. He uses Iron Lances. He has 11 defense, which is nice, but like functionally speaking, he actually has less defense in the early game than somebody like Alan or Lance because he doesn't have the sword access.
Yes.
That makes it so the weapon triangle doesn't work against him, and he gets doubled. I would take somebody like Lot over Boars in terms of tanking any day of the week, because Lot actually has a really respectable speed base, speed growth, and HP base, and really early fast support accesses with units that are not bad.
Yes, I 100% agree to all the points that you made. However, I feel like both Knight and General are obscenely good in one place. Nobody is ever going to realistically want to take them. The Ilya and Sakai routes. Because of their...
I'm trying to think of the enemy composition, and I'm like, how the hell is this guy hitting a Nomad?
Here's the thing about that. He's, like, all 3 of the Knights that you get, realistically, shouldn't be able to hit Nomads. I have consistently gotten Wendy to the point where she is able to not only hit, but kill and outpace Nomads. Consistently. Again, she's essentially a paladin on... If she can tank it, she can kill it, often doubling it.
See,
then again, I will admit that is personal bias on my end.
I think we could do that. Like, okay, let's FE6 Wendy. Okay, Wendy, what level does she join at?
She starts at level 1.
Okay, let's say she gets
again,
like 20,
she has the entirety of the Western Isles to help her with.
Right, but then you look at like the what I'm looking at here, right, is like, what if I put somebody like Noah into the same situation, and he has this like the same HP, slightly less attack, more skill, the same speed, less luck, less defense, like around the same res, and he has like more con and 3 more movement. I just think that like the amount of investment that you're saying could make any unit in this game good, quote unquote good, as good as they're gonna ever get. I just don't, like, you're saying that she's a paladin with extra defense. What I'm saying is, why not just take a paladin that has, why not just take a cavalier that has more defense and level them up instead of her? And the leveling process is also way easier because they don't join right before an entire stretch of the game where they have weapon triangle disadvantage against 90% of the enemies. If you're talking about like using them as like a way to wall off Nomads, which is actually pretty valuable, I do like that. Like, for example, I do use Douglas, for example, on Sakai to wall off Nomads, but that's a Douglas thing, and he joins promoted and he can do that. Yeah. Unlike the Knights, and that's not like a Knight thing, that's a general thing.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong. If we do end up putting both Knight and General in B tier, Knight's obviously going to be at the end. There's no way it's keeping up with General or any of the other classes in this game. However,
the thing, right? I just think that like every single point of competition that Knight has just outpaces it, literally and figuratively. Because if you're talking about like Knight has to contend with Cavalier in terms of like just like availability, and the Wyverns in terms of bulk, and both of them are just beating its ass.
Right.
Like whatever your Knight does can be replicated by even like Zeus, like straight, and he'll do it better. And your Christmas calves. I just don't think that it's any good at all. I'm gonna be honest. At least with, again, like they have such shitty weapon access. The only good lance in this entire game is the Maltet and the Killer Lance. All the other lances suck. The Slim Lance has 80 hit, but it has 4 might. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Okay, I will say the Horse Slayer is actually really good, but you have way better units to use the Horse Slayer on, like Milady joins.
Also true.
on a map that's like 90% Cavaliers, and the chapter after you get an extra Horse Slayer. So, like, you know, and she joins unpromoted, so you can level her up like 6 times, get her like another extra like 4 to 5 hit, and then promote her, and she's even better than she would be otherwise.
Not
But,
only
like, the
that,
Kill Lance
but
is
going
the Kill
in
Lance,
her...
of course, they have 75 hit, and the Maltet has 80 hit and skill plus 5, so it has 90 hit.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's no good lances. The lance access is just I just think that they're just it's so hard to deploy them. It's just so hard to deploy them.
It is.
Whenever you want to deploy them, there's just better physical combat units that you can deploy.
That is entirely true. I'm not going to deny that.
I would legitimately put it in D tier, like straight up. Both of them. I know you disagree, but I just I think that there's some. If I'm looking at the B tier, there's some like actually like decent classes in this game that I think are exactly like B tier. That I just don't see. Like, for example, maybe a little bit of a spoiler. I think Sniper, for example, is like a B tier class, and I would there's no world in which I put Sniper and Knight in the same class, in the same tier.
I would highly disagree with the Sniper bit. I want to hear your argument when we get there, though, because that is going to be an interesting thing there. But
I just think that, like, I'm thinking about what I imagine this tier list would look like after it's finished. And, like, I'm just going to be honest, like, Knight just can't hang. It just can't hang with the other B tiers.
I feel like it could, but again, with everything that you said against it, there's a lot against it. And
yeah, that's
something that you didn't bring up.
And you don't have many Knight's Crests, and you have a lot of good units that want Knight Crests.
Right. And another thing that you forgot to bring up earlier...
is a suicide wish.
Right. And you forgot to bring this up earlier, but another knock against it is hard mode bonuses. The only Knight/General that gets hard mode bonuses is Douglas. And even then...
He doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't? Oh, okay,
no,
that's my bad.
The way that it works is that if you recruit them on map, they get the hard mode bonuses. But Douglas, you keep him alive, and then he joins you next chapter as a blue unit, so he doesn't get hard mode bonuses. That's another thing. Because he has like those adaptive stats based on how much money you recruit him at, he doesn't get hard mode bonuses. If he did, he would actually be like, I would recruit him every single time because he'd have enough speed and magic to like double and 1-round wyverns, and I'd be like, this unit fucking rules, but he doesn't.
Yeah. I forgot about that, about Douglas. Okay.
And also, that's another thing. Ray also doesn't get hard mode bonuses because he spawns on the map. They need to also spawn as a reinforcement in order to get the hard mode bonuses.
Hold on, I'm fact-checking that one. Hold on.
Hard mode bonuses are a bug. They were not intended.
Oh.
Yeah, like you can check. I mean, you can check Ray. He doesn't have any hard mode bonuses.
There it is. Okay, oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Huh, okay. Yeah, that's my B.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just not... like... Hard mode bonuses always just go to the units that need it the least. Except for, like, a few cases. Like, Rutger does not need the hard mode bonuses. Milady does not need the hard mode bonuses.
At the very least, Ray Fur and Wrath get them.
Use those, but they just don't get it. And
yeah.
I just don't see Knight. Okay, I could see an argument for C tier, because I will say like as memeable as attack is, you at least get like one reliable combat, and that's more than you can say for a lot of units.
Yes.
I think the General and Knight have to go into the same tier. I'm gonna be honest.
I was gonna say the same.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I'd be willing to live with that.
All right, like I made my I shot my shot.
Oh no, go for it.
I shot my shot when it came to Knight in general. It didn't pan out, but whatever. One day I will get Knight in general to S tier. One day.
Sorry. I thought you were finished, so I talked over you. My bad. What I'm saying is, Fighter is at least a B tier class, and we as a society do not give it enough respect. First of all, the fighters that you get
you're
are
not
actually
wrong.
all like surprisingly competent. Wade is very bad, but he has a fire affinity, so his hit rate issues do not exist. And he has an Allen support, which is just insane, which is fire. That alone makes me want to use Wade.
Lot is obscenely good. in
Lot
general,
is just
really.
a straight up good unit. Like I would low key almost argue that Lot is better than Deke, but I'd probably be wrong on that. The thing with Lot is that like he has HP, defense, and speed. Those are his 3 stats that he specializes in.
Yeah.
And the promotion bonuses for Fighter are insane.
Yes, not only that, but it holds true for this game as it does for Awakening. Warrior is just a really busted class.
It's so good. The only thing that I can hold the only real problem with this is not a problem with the class, it's a problem with the cursed game that it's in, is that
Yes.
you get like 3 heroes crests if you're lucky. One of them's gonna go to Rutger, one of them's either going to Fear or Deke, and then you have 1 for the rest of your units. And there's like 6 units that need heroes crested from.
Yeah. At the very least, though, you are able to get the gold card, which
The members card and get
Yeah.
but that's like chapter 16, and that's the other thing, right? Your
Yeah.
hero quest units join very close to each other.
Yes.
If it was like how the your flyers join, where they like join kind of staggered, and you got your like, Elysian and you got your hero crest kind of like late, and they join with like correct like bases when they join, that would be fine. But you don't. You get 3 hero crest units in chapter 2, another one in 2 chapters from that, and then you get like 3 more in the Western Isles. There's a lot of hero crest units.
yeah, they really do front load you with them.
Most of them are really bad, but
Yes.
so you could realistically afford 1 hero crest on a fighter, but I think fighter is probably better than mage because there's like active reasons to want to go into it, and like a
Yeah.
fighter lot is like a good unit. Like if you can get that man to promote, he will be a good unit.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of, let's talk about Warrior as well. Look,
Tier is any S tier might be a bit extra, but like it's at least A tier.
Here,
got, like-
here's the thing that's really helping it for me. It's better sniper. It's better archer. Like, it's a non-mounted nomad. A non-mounted nomad. Granted, mounted nomad.
Agree with you, except for one thing, is that I think that the one problem that this class has is that the units that get it do not have good bow rank. And good bow rank does matter because unlike with like like a lance or something where like you don't want to use a silver lance because it's so much less like hit, like a silver bow, because bows are used against enemies that they're triple effectiveness against, every extra point of like the difference between an iron bow and a silver bow is not 7 might, it's 21 might. And so when you're comparing 10 hit to 21 might with the iron bow and the silver bow, you suddenly start to consider maybe I should do this. And the killer bow is also just a genuinely really good weapon. It's got 80 hit, 80 hit, 9 might, 30 crit. Brave bow has 75 hit and 10 might, which is absolutely excellent. And the Muligir, it's 5 speed, 16 might, and only your snipers or nomad troopers are ever going to get access to it.
Right.
And iron bow is still good because your warriors are going to have good strength. I mean, Bartray with an iron bow, he kills enemies. He does the job.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was going to bring that up for the reason as to why this class is so freaking good. Bartra is just obscene because the man starts off with absurdly high strength, absurdly high axe weapon rank, which means that you can essentially cap it off at S and then work on bows for the rest of the time that you have him, having his axes as a secondary option.
I don't think I've ever equipped an axe on Bartray, and I'm being 100% honest. I've literally, it's been five iron bows in his inventory every single time that I've used them, and I've been happy doing it.
That's a good way to do it too, but the man is able to wield Ormad scarily effective. Sure, it isn't like any berserker out there.
What's attack rank? It's like B, right?
It's B. So you literally just need to get him up 2 ranks, and that's it.
Right, but this game has slow weapon rank games, so it's like, you'd have to do 100 combats, well, 50 combats where he doubles, which he's not going to double, so 100 combats with him.
Even
the nice
then,
thing about
though,
Bartray is that, like, okay,
even then, though, he does have absurdly good support bonuses as well. Like, again, there's Fur, his own daughter, who is able to provide him with a fire affinity, which he's also able to stack on as well. And I think.
Yeah, his affinity is bad. Thunder is a bad affinity, but the units that he has support access to have good affinities.
Yeah.
By which I mean Fear is the only one that has a good affinity, but that's still fine. So Bartray, he has 109 hit at base with an iron bow, which is honestly pretty decent. Like, what is it? FE6 Klein iron bow. Like iron bow Klein has 118 hit, so he's 9 less hit than Klein does at base and that's including hard mode bonuses.
Yeah.
So Klein, like Bartray is doing well for himself, and like a lot is gonna have enough speed that he can like double enemies with bows and double unpromoted at least, like Cavaliers and stuff. Like hold up, fail.
Like
6 with Lot.
I honestly just think that the time that it takes in order to get to killer bow access is not even that bad. Like,
yeah,
when it comes to
Bartray
warrior...
gets the killer bow, and then like I'm fine with this for the rest of the game.
Yeah, like Bartray and Lot, and heck, even there are just so many good warriors in this game. Like, it's not even fun.
I think there's 3, but yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would still put it in A tier because I think that they're even on those, because there's some, like for me, a class in S tier is that like every single run I'm going to use this unit and I'm going to be completely happy doing it. I don't see myself using a warrior every single run because like warrior, you either have to go B route or you have to use a hero crest on one of your early fighters, and it's not like it's something that's like unthinkable for either of those things, but there's going to be runs where you don't have a good warrior. It's just going to be
fair.
like that. I would put it above Sage. I would put it like mid-high A tier, basically.
That works, yeah. Okay.
You know
Should we get the other one?
You know what I think is an S tier class is Nomad Trooper. That class is heat. 100% hit rate, 100% like success rate on this class.
I mean, bro, you're not wrong.
I would put both of them in S tier, honestly. When
Both
you have them
in S
unpromoted,
tier,
they're good,
okay.
and when they promote, they just get better. There's no reason to not use. People talk about Sue like this. She's this unviable unit or something.
They're wrong.
She's actually very good. She has like 10 base speed, people. Her strength is low, but
I'd even say she's better than Wrath because of the fact that she starts off.
That's too far. Okay, the way I see about Sue is that she's the rare FE6 unit who is a growth unit that is not bad at growing. You know what I mean?
She has an edge over him in the availability department, though, which is
a lot of times
absurdly good.
That's like, oh, this unit, you're supposed to level them up, and then you'll level them up, and they're still bad. Like what's his face? OJ. Like, you'll level them up, and you're like, this unit still sucks ass. Sue, she starts off pretty bad, but if you level her up, she's going to be good.
Okay, I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna have to send you some of my footage from the Swords Only run later, because I have been making OJ frickin' work, man.
A lot of things. I mean, in a Swords Only run, I could see why he would be better than usual, because he joins before the Western Isles and is a sword locked unit. So, but I mean, like if we look at Sue, she joins at the end, like towards the end of Chapter 6.
Yeah.
And she has 5 strength, which might seem low, but FE6 Dorothy. If you look at Dorothy,
it's better than Dorothy, yeah.
So like we're not going to talk about that. She has D rank bows, which is also the same as Dorothy. And Sue has a base speed of 8, and she has a 65% speed growth and a 55% skill growth and a 50% luck growth. So what this means is that she's always going to like once she gets like a few levels, she joins at level 1, mind you. She's very low level too. She's going to always get the speed, always hit things once she's leveled up, and she's going to always double. And it's going to be hard to hit her. Relying on her dodging is better than you would think, because again, Shin is another extremely good unit, and they together have like a full avoid affinity, so like
that's his name, Shin. I keep calling him Wrath, I don't know why.
Yeah, no, they're just really good. And Dian, he's one of the few like pre-promotes in this game that's like actually like feels like you're using a pre-promote. I did the math and like almost every single pre-promote in this game is actually weaker than the unpromoted enemies on the map that they join.
Yes.
Dian is not. He has 20 base speed and really good weapon ranks, and he has the 2 best weapon types in the game. He's good.
Swords and bows. Yeah. Which I'm
The
very
only bad thing
upset
about this
that I
class-
can't use a Nomad in my Swords Only run. I'm mad about that.
The only bad thing about this class is that you are going to be going to Sakai if you do this. But, I mean, honestly, the Ilya Sakai route split, it's like a thing, but, like, Ilya is only, like, a little bit less bad than Sakai. Like, you're gonna be in for some tough chapters regardless. You might as well at least use the good units. I use both of my flyers and both of my nomads every single run.
Same, but I usually swap out Tate for a certain Wyvern Lord.
I use all three, honestly, straight up.
That's fair.
I got the deployment slots for it. A lot of your units in this game just fall off with time. Even good units, like you'll find yourself with like a Deke at like level chapter 17. And it's like, damn, this guy just doesn't double anymore. Like, what happened? He's got decent bulk, but jack shit else. And it's like, you gotta go, brother. I got a whole ass Milady I got a whole ass Zeus that I recruited last chapter. There's no way I'm not using him.
I sadly have never found a use for Zeus, but we'll get to him later.
You're like the Zeus is like he joins like super late, but there's still some chapters like post Zeus join that have a bunch of calves. You basically just gotta save some horse slayer uses for him.
Yeah, like I get that he is like really good. Most flyers are, but look, it might just be the fact that the rest of the community is obscenely against him, but God, I have been taught to hate him.
I don't know. I just whenever he joins, he has like almost 40 HP and 15 defense, 20 strength, and I'm like, you're better than my Cavaliers right now. I will just use you.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will take from him is that like he has like some low key shitty hit rates, and he doesn't have C rank at base. So until he promotes, he's not getting better hit rates. But I mean, I still think he's basically what your generals wish they could be.
Yeah.
Because and he can fly. No,
yeah.
I think we're getting a little off track. So why
we
are
are getting very off track.
Sniper in B tier?
Okay, here's the thing. Like, I would rather run a Nomad and keep the pace up, because usually there are a lot of maps that are tied to how many turns that you are able to do it before a certain condition has passed. Most of the time it's a Gaiden. And I would rather just work toward the Gaiden chapter than really train up a unit that isn't going to be doing much other than just picking off targets. Which, granted, Nomads are kind of the same, but they have that mounted access and swords when they promote into Nomadic Troopers, which I feel is just a lot more effective than snipers being foot and bow locked. Granted,
See, I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that both the snipers, you can have really good bow rank, and also picking off, like, Nomads are good at dealing with Wyverns after they promote. Because before they promote, even Sid is not going to be dealing that much damage to Wyvern Riders and Wyvern Lords.
Right.
Even with, like, a decent weapon. But Klein, he has, like, a decent strength stat. His speed is pretty low, but he has really good skill. And he has, like, instant Brave Bow access. And Brave Bow, as we talked about earlier, is a 75 hit weapon. That's, like the second most hit that a bow can have in this game. So he's got like two shots minimum of a 30 might weapon against a Wyvern every single time he attacks in combat. They are only picking off enemies, but they're picking off enemies that your other units can't pick off. And the Silver Bow is 13 might. It's a strong weapon. I think a sniper like Gren is like slightly worse because she has like worse availability, no hard mode bonuses. But even then, like, you get a free deployment for a chapter, and Klein is just a good unit. Like, he has access to some decent supports as well. He has supports with 3 different good units.
Ooh, right. Yeah, I forgot about Klein.
And five different good units.
Wait, really?
His support list is wall-to-wall bangers. It's Clarine, Percival, Deke, Elfin, and Tate. There is no bad unit in that. So,
oh,
yeah,
brother.
I mean, you deploy him, you're gonna be able to find a way to make him work. And I just think that both Klein and Igren are like just fine. I would put them in B tier because, like, again, like I think they're definitely better than the mages that you get because they at least have a purpose that they can fulfill, and it's a good purpose.
Honestly, damn it, you've convinced me. You've convinced me, man. All right, think maybe about.
I think between mage and fighter is fine, or above fighter, either is fine.
Like, obvious, like, God, I really need to start using more snipers because. God, okay, I didn't know that Klein was that friggin' good. Okay.
Yeah, 16 strength, 16 skill. Like he does the thing. Now using him like for the full game might be kind of iffy because eventually your Su and your Shin are going to catch up and it's going to be kind of tough justifying deployment for him. But if you get some good level, I mean, the nice thing about Klein is that he has a good strength base and a good speed growth. Right, so like if he levels up, which he will, because he's going to be like your Wyvern Lord killer, so he's going to be taking promoted enemy kills. He's got some decent odds of getting some good level ups, and after that, like you get him some good supports, and he's off to the races. I just think it's a fine unit.
Fair point. However, though, I can't say the same for Archer.
Just put it in D. I don't think we need to have a sermon on about how GBA archers are bad.
At the very least, though, better than Roy at the very least because free access to 2 range and super effective damage against classes that are actually able to take the super effective damage.
Yeah. Like if you don't have any good options, you can use Wolt to try to hit the Chapter 7 Wyverns. I would still suggest you use Su because she has better hit rates.
Yeah.
But it's an option.
Yeah. At least they're useful. Sort of.
Along with that, can we also put Pirate in D tier?
I mean, considering that the only one that we get sucks, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad class. I mean, like, fucking, what's his face? I forgot his name.
Geese?
Yeah, Geese is bad. And then also, like, he needs a hero crest. Like, he's just really bad.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I kind of like Gonzalez, because I think that he has a lot of bulk, which I will say, he's got a lot of bulk.
Yeah, I was frankly going to try to. I know that I'm probably not going to succeed on this, but I was going to try to negotiate for Pirate being in C tier at the very least. Because...
it's just there's no reason you would ever deploy Geese. There's just no reason. Because you have other better axe units that join, like, around the same time, too.
Yeah, Gonzalez being one of them.
Yeah, Gonzalez, he has 16 strength. We all know Gonzalez's hit rates are bad. What you need to understand is that everybody's hit rates are bad, and that Gonzalez at least has the offense to back it up if he hits. He has a few supports, most particularly Lilina and Echidna, that will help him out in this aspect. And he can walk onto a peak, and he's really hard to hit when he's on a peak.
Yeah. Not
his
only
promotion
that, but...
game also really fucking nice too. He gets 5 skill on promotion.
Yeah.
That
which is
just
really good.
And if he crits, he kills them anyways, and usually doubles.
And he's going to crit. Like, seriously, I've went through an entire map with Gonzalez just critting things into oblivion.
And like, the nice thing is that, like, but the nice thing about Gonzalez is that, what was I gonna say? No, if you're on A route, which is the route that I usually go, he has C rank access, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And, like, the hit rates, like, take him higher, and, basically, the way it works, usually, is that I find you give 2 sword units hero crest and 1 axe unit. If you pick Gonzalez as your axe unit, you'll probably not be unhappy with your decision, because there's a lot of lance enemies in this game.
There really is.
Cavaliers, paladins, wyvern riders, wyvern lords, generals, armor knights. There's all, like, flyers even. There's a lot of lance enemies, and only some of them are, like, really dodgy. Gonzalez can face tank a lot of cavaliers and wyverns, like, very effectively.
Not only that, but he's usually able to one-shot most of the weaker lance classes as well. Heck, even knights and generals if he has a hammer.
Yeah, I mean, I would just give him the Iron Axe because, like, he might actually, because he's probably just gonna have a better chance to it KOing with an Iron Axe than he is with a hammer if he's up against a
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but like your kit with Gonzalez is usually going to be a lot simpler than like a pirate, because what are you gonna do with a pirate other than just give them a high hit axe? Meanwhile, when it comes to Gonzalez,
they're straight up Gonzalez, but worse. That's another thing that like hard mode ones is just makes units arbitrarily better and worse than each other. It's one of the things that I hate about this game is that units just suck ass for no reason.
Yeah, and like, you literally just brought it up. Hard mode bonuses. This is the only class in the game that benefits off of that. Like, absurdly benefits off of that, because it is an enemy-only class that is given to you for basically free.
Well, there's also Wyvern, but...
well, yeah, but that's given to you for literally free.
No, the thing is, like, Gonzalez, if you get him to, like, level 12 promoted, and then promote him, he has, like... Gonzalez is gonna have, like, 50 goddamn HP after promotion. It's insane. He has, I mean, like, 20 strength, 50 HP. He's gonna be doing a lot of work for you.
Mm-hmm. Like, I said earlier that Bartra was a really good Armads user. Nah, this man is our Armads user.
I use, like, Armads on fucking Percival, honestly, because I just can't be bothered using all these action units. I don't use Gonzalez too often, and when I use Bartra, he's like a bow user only. So it's like, okay, I guess Percival is picking up the axe. I would put Gonzalez like below. I would put Gonzalez below the fighters. Below
Agreed.
Mage, like below. I would put it below Mage, honestly.
Okay, fair.
Because his availability, you gotta like figure out a way to deploy him. Whereas with Lou, you just get a couple chapters where you can deploy him for free.
Yeah. I guess while we're here, we should probably talk about Berserker. It's Swordmaster with axes. What else can we say? It has 1 to 2 range and 30 crit.
1 to 2 range though, like.
I mean, it's
not bad 1 to 2 range, but it's something.
It's something.
It's just Garrett, Geese, and Gonzalez, right?
Yeah, it's Garrett, Geese, and Gonzalez.
And 2 of those units are pretty decent. Garrett especially is like good because he's joins promoted.
And then there's Geese.
Garrett, I mean, like, Garrett is actually, like, obscenely bulky, too. He has, like, he has 55 HP at base and 10 defense in hard mode. Like, he's got a wind affinity. So if you can do, like, Garrett or Luna, like, he's gonna be eaten. He's gonna have, like, 15 hit from that. It's not 15 hit. I think it's 25?
It's 25, yeah.
15. It's 2.5 each.
Right,
it's
2.5 each.
25 to get, like, a full... Like, if you have an A support and a B support, and all supports involved give you hit, you get 25 total hit.
It's really funny that Lilina has better supports with the 2 frickin' burly berserkers that are just able to one-shot things without a care. Meanwhile, her support with Roy is like, okay. Okay.
I mean, in terms of what it provides to the army, it's pretty okay. In terms of, like, the support bonuses themselves, it's even better.
Yeah. Which, honestly, considering all that, like...
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I would honestly put it above Warrior because, well... It's, the thing is, like, the thing with Berserker is that you have more reliable access to Berserker. And with Warrior is that when you have access to it, it's better.
Right.
I still think it goes above Warrior.
I disagree with that. I feel like they're kind of the same. I feel like they're kind of the same-ish when it comes to power. Especially because, like, one has consistent, like, 1 to 2 range and 2 range. Meanwhile, one has that better crit.
Better crit and, like, better combat stats, honestly.
Yeah. Like, one has... Yeah. Like, there's the utility angle, and then there's the power angle. Which, once we get to Mercenary versus Swordmaster, oh god, that's gonna be a combo. That's gonna be a conversation right there.
I don't think so, man. I think in this game, Swordmaster is just way better.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting conversation.
The thing is, he's good at base, but then he doesn't really grow well. Like, he doesn't have his promotion bonuses don't give him that much. And like the thing with Swordmasters is that they I can guarantee you they thought that the Swordmasters were going to be bad units because they had way too much speed and not enough strength. Turns out that way too much speed is just enough in this game. And as a result, Fear and Rutger are actually able to double, whereas OJ and Deke are going to have a much harder time doubling unless you get like OJ to like level 20 promoted or something like that. On top of that, Rutger has easier support access with units that you're gonna be deploying Clarine. Like, let's be real here. You're not gonna be. Yeah. You're gonna be deploying either You're gonna be deploying either Clarine or Fear, probably. And after other than that, I think he has supports with some of the Sakai units as well. So he's got good support access. He has a lot of crit. He has access to one of the best weapon types in the game. Easy Durandal access as well. I mean, fixing a sword unit's strength is much easier than fixing a sword unit's speed in this game.
Right. I guess that also does lead to partially why I think that this is going to be a harder conversation than it is, because when it comes to the utility of hero, it's not even a question of how good it is to have consistent 1 and 1 to 2 range. And without a light brand too.
Don't get me wrong, because you're 1 to 2 range again. It's your hand axe, and the hand axe sucks. It's 55 hit.
Even then, though, they usually have enough skill to make it work.
It's not 55 hit. It's 50 hit. My problem with the hand axe is that I think that having the weapon triangle advantage against a cavalier or something is good, but the hand axe is not the way to do it. If I'm gonna try to 1 to 2 range them, I would much rather have a really a promoted Clarine with a support partner, put her in a bush, and then have her fight against those the 1 to 2 range enemies. I legitimately think that's a safer way to handle it. That would be more valuable.
It would be a lot safer, yeah.
The thing with Hero is that I honestly think that Echidna is taking upping the average by a lot. She's a very good unit, and I have a lot of respect for her. Her HP is just god-awful, but her combat stats are not. Her skill is very good. Echidna with a hand axe is a good unit. I will admit. Echidna with a hand axe is a very good unit. My main problem is that, Deke, he has a Thunder Thing, so he's going to just get less hit than your average unit from supports if you're trying to do that hand axe lifestyle. Because if you're getting the plus 25 hit from your supports or something like that, and you're using a hand axe, it doesn't matter. You're still getting a free plus 25 hit. That's an insane amount of accuracy that you can get. And again, this game is very lance-dominated, and the weapon triangle is very powerful, so you're going to be happy that you got the extra 25 hit, and you're going to be dealing good damage. Whereas, Echidna has an ice affinity. Echidna and OJ, they're not really that, good for supports because they get their supports super late, and they're, super slow, and not all of them.
And then there's Deke.
Right. Deke has good supports, but they're not... Deke is easy to access supports, but they don't give him accuracy.
Right. If anything, they give him crit, which is equally as useful, but not as useful in the long term. Mm-hmm. Which, I guess we kind of made our point clear here.
Rutger so overkill that it's just Rutger's probably the second best combat unit in this game.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna deny it. He just is. I feel there is one...
if we're looking at the big three, Milady is the One Piece, Percival is Bleach, Rutger's the whack-ass Naruto of the three. He's not measuring up to the other two as much, IMO.
Yeah.
But he's still part of the big three, and we still owe him respect for that. I legitimately think that... And Fear she's a good combat unit, too. If you give her levels, she's going to be a good unit for you. She's going to be much frailer than Rutger and deal much less damage, and she's going to need a crit to kill, whereas Rutger, depending on the situation, does not always need a crit to kill.
It's going to be a lot easier for her, though, because she's getting a lightning affinity and a darkness affinity if you're supporting her with Bartra and Rutger. And she's going to be making a lot more of a use of that than a lot of other units can.
Right, the crit, Rutger and Fear having crit affinities helps them out more than more than most units would.
Yes.
From having crit affinities.
Oh yeah. I guess in the end, what we're trying to say is, Swordmaster goes...
I think below the nomads is fine.
Okay. Swordmaster goes here. Myrmidon goes and...
I low-key think that Myrmidon is almost better than Swordmaster. Because okay, it's a bit.
Right,
I don't mean that like a Myrmidon is going to be better than that unit promoted. Obviously, if you promote the unit, they're going to be better, right? Like we can agree on that. But what I'm trying to actually get at here is that I think that like I've actually done runs where I promote Rutger late, and he's able to do so well in combat because he just caps speed, and even then like yes he would have like 23 speed, but 15 strength, 20 speed is still more than good enough to be a really good combat unit. I think the fact that you don't have to promote a Myrmidon makes them even better than like the fact that even better than like value to the team, and also you get them earlier.
Not only that, but I feel like, especially after currently doing this swords only run, dude, it isn't just Ruker, it's Fur too. Late promoting Fur is still a really good idea.
Yeah, it's just the class bases in the hard move versus man. It helps you out so much.
Oh my god.
And also there's no Corel dragging down the average for Myrmidon.
Fair enough. Okay, Hero goes
below stage, well, in the same tier. Same tier is below.
Okay.
Mercenary, I would say, is like above mage, below sniper, maybe.
That I can work with.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, the dancers in this game, my hot take is that the dancers in this game are only good. They're not, like, crazy. First of all, their availability is bad. Second of all, you have to keep them alive or you lose your true ending.
Yes.
Third of all, there's just a lot of shit where they'll just randomly die.
Oh god, yes. Okay.
There's so many, like, ballistas and siege tomes in this game where your dancer's just like, oh, guess it's time to die, and they just drop dead.
Not only that, but unlike the other GBA games, they really do not have as much utility as some of the other dancers in these games. Like, I don't know if we're gonna do an FE7 one, but Nils and Ninian and Nils are just so good.
I do think they're great, but I think that's more because like getting an extra action in the game. In that, I will say, I think that they're better partially because they're like easier to keep alive, and also like they're not liable to just dying. Like if a Wyvern Rider shows up from the Fog of War, they're probably gonna have like a poison lance, and Ninian's gonna die 5 turns later, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And in this game, you could just be on chapter 10 A route, and suddenly 4 fighters spawn out of the Echidna house without any warning, attack Larum, and she just dies. That's a very realistic thing that could happen in this game, and you would have no way of knowing that about that ahead of time unless you look it up. I think
you just hurt my soul,
I think that
dude.
the wind and stuff, that shit does not matter, straight up. But also, like, I think that their dancing is more valuable, but they as units are just more liable to just getting just shit on in this game. I still think it's like, I think that this is the like the lowest S tier in this game, which is much lower than they would be in other games.
You just hit my soul there, because that happened like 3 times while I was working on my swords only run, and it hurt so bad. Larum, you're cool and all, but God, you suck. Okay. You know what? Let's get Manakita out of the way. Let's just get out of the way.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
It has like 2 things it does. It's that it kills dragons, and it can bait stat saves. That's literally it.
That's it. That's it. Not much else you can do. Okay. Here's a good question. Do you want to take like do you want to pause the recording here for just a little bit?
What?
Well, 1, to make sure that nothing gets corrupted and stuff, and 2, I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we're gonna take a small break, and we'll be back in a second. Alright, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that wasn't as long as it was for us. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyhow, so where do you want to
So
continue?
I was going to talk about how I feel like Troubadour is among the top 5 classes in this game.
Agreed. Just
I think that it's low-key closer to top 1 than it is to top 5. I just think that it just first of all, we're not really ranking Troubadour, we're ranking Clarine. And I think that we have to consider we have to consider her against her counterfactuals, which means that we need to get rid of this myth that Saul is like a god tier unit and that Clarine is bad and Clarine is just not worth it because of Saul. The only real advantage that Saul has is that he has C rank staves, which only really matters if you're going super fast.
I'm sorry, when was Saul ever good?
In any context. Like basically the point is that like as long as you're using Clarine, she will be better than Saul. The
Yes.
only thing that she's gonna have is like a worse magic stat by like I don't know, like 2-3 points. Which like do you really care that much about 2-3 points to get like to have 2 less movement and a way worse weapon type? Like, is that really what you care about most?
Yeah.
Like, I think Clarine is like super underrated.
Honestly, as somebody who's been using Clarine since day one, I don't know how she is, but she just is so underrated. Like, God. Like, I have heard a lot of gas for Ellen. I have heard a lot of gas for Saul. None for Clarine.
For Ellen? Where are you talking to people about FE6, bro?
Okay, literally, one of my best friends, and Dane, I am sorry for calling you out on this, but he quite literally has been gassing Ellen since day one, and you guys are gonna be hearing him in the FE6 Swords Only run, but he is quite literally given me so much advice, and most of it is just grind Ellen.
I've gone her up to like 2020. She's still really bad, dude. Like, I'm sorry.
I will admit, she has kicked ass in the past, but not as much as Clarine has, that's for sure. Like, I wholly agree with you that she is in the top 10 of best classes in this game. Like, easily.
The thing is like the thing with the I think the reason that Saul is so overrated is that Better Call Saul is a highly rated TV show. No, I actually think the reason is that no, I think that the GBA community for some reason has not moved past this like LTC heavy rhetoric where like they really value speed still. And I think that there's situations where speed is really important. Obviously, if you have like a side objective that requires you to go fast, you go fast. But the going fast doesn't really get you anything in like in the time where both Ellen and Clarine are working on their weapon ranks, right? At that point in time, going fast doesn't really get you shit. After that, like around the time that you get the warp staff, that's when stuff starts mattering.
Yeah,
Because,
and
like, for
even
example,
then,
there's, like,
Ellen
like,
and
objective-
Clarine are going to be at the point to use it consistently.
Yeah, it's, like for example, like Clarine is like because around that time you get like side objectives that are going to be made much easier by using warp, like Chapter 14X. Wait, that's not a side objective; that's a main objective.
It's still made easier by using the warp staff.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing, right? Like, I just think that for some reason, like the Fates community, for example, we really don't give a shit about efficiency or like LTC, because I think the main reason is that like it's a very boring way to play the game.
It is.
It is uniquely one of the most boring games when played like efficiently, because it's just the same units and the same run every single time. There's not like any like unique like time saves that you can think of, like unique like actions economy saves that you can think of.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, no, I think that the GBA community is still on that, which is fine, but we have to respect Clarine basically.
yes, like, she is a pillar in this game's, like, usability. And, God, she's just so good. Like, not only does she have some of the best supports in the entirety of the game, like, again, Rutger is a thing. But
Since Rutger, Klein, like her other supports are kind of ass. Like Dorothy and Deke is like Klein, like Clarine Deke is not that good. Like you want to work on these other supports from the mercenary group.
yeah, like, don't get me wrong, her supports with Deke and Dorothy aren't great, but at the very least, Klein and Rutger are able to give her more than what she needs. And more often than not, like, her staff and magic utility in general is just going to be invaluable. And heck, she's even more efficient than Saul and Ellen are because of the fact that she is able to do what they do while mounted.
The extra movement is just so nice.
Yes. Not only that, but they essentially have the same weaknesses, aka none. They have none of the weaknesses than their other mounted utilities have, and
yeah, I mean, I would argue that the other mounted units also don't have like weaknesses, but also like I think we really forget about the fact that Anima is just so much better of a weapon type.
it
than Light.
really
Like,
is.
Light tomes in this game have really bad hit.
Not only that, but bad availability too. Like, it's on 3 promoted units. That's it.
And like one of them is not good. Like,
Yeah.
and the other 2 are like situational at best. Well, I mean, their combat is situational at best.
Meanwhile, when it comes to Clarine, she has one of the best weapon types in the game. She has staves, which boosts her up even more. The only chapter that is bad for her is chapter 14, which it's bad for everybody. So really, there really isn't that much competition there. And even then, she still is able to promote really quickly because of the fact that she joins in the same chapter as Rutger.
She's just a good unit, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I would say that it's like, I'm trying to think, is there ever a situation where I'm not deploying her? And I'm gonna say no. I put her above Nomad Trooper. There's times where I'm like, I'm doing a run and I'm like, I really can't be fucked doing Cicadas run. I'm not gonna use my Nomad Trooper and Nomads. There is never a situation, and there is never a downside with using her.
Honestly, yeah, I agree. Like, okay. Now here's the hard part. Valkyrie.
See, listen, I'm willing to extend an olive branch to the Cecilia community. If they care that much about Cecilia that they think she's good, I'm willing to put Valkyrie also in S tier if it means that Clarine's class also goes in S tier.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, this is just Clarine and Clarine only.
Dude, the NPC fans are gonna eat me alive. Dude, I don't know why they love Cecilia so much. She's so bad.
I don't know either. I don't know either.
Like, oh my god.
Like, 7 base skill, her magic is okay, and she starts off in a map that is the worst for her. Like, it's not even funny, man. And it's not like the next map is even better for her. Okay. You know what, since we've been name-dropping them the entire time, Cleric and Bishop.
I would say that Cleric is better than Bishop, because the fact of the matter is, it's a, like, I low-key, like, the only reason I ever promote Saul is for the extra magic. I do not use his combat, because his combat is, it would be, honestly, if he was like a, if he could promote into having into having Anima, I would legitimately use him as, like, my Anima unit of choice. But the thing is, he can't.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. There's one good light tome in this entire game, and it's Oriola, and it's an S rank light tome.
Yeah, which none of the, okay, here, Dane, I'm sorry I keep calling you out like this, but there is an argument that I keep hearing from him, that is Areola Ellen.
See, that's the thing, but, like, at that point, I would just use Saul.
Fair. At that
Like,
point, I
the
just
thing
use
is,
Yogi.
The thing is, Satorl is like he has big bases, and the promotion bonuses in this game, just generally speaking, are pretty good.
But then again,
and, like,
Yogi also exists.
Honestly, the problem is that like every single tome, light tome in this game is so bad. You don't have normally in F7, for example, I use the shine tome if I'm using a light tome on, like if I'm using a light tome, because well, I mean, I'm sorry, because it gives more weapon.
Yeah.
Because shine gives 2 weapon rank per hit, and light only gives 1. In this game, there's no shine tome. It's only light, divine, aura, and no, it's light, divine, purge, and fucking what's it called, aureola.
Yeah.
So you have to use the lightning tome, which is really bad, mind you. It's got the might is bad, which is one thing. Like if a tome has bad might, you can get away with it. But it's got bad might, and it also has bad fucking accuracy. It's got like 65 accuracy, some stupid shit like that. It got plus 25 hit in the divorce proceedings between F6 and F7. It's actually the most buffed in terms of hit rate tome in the game.
Yeah.
Light's just a bad weapon type. Nice thing is that it is a magical weapon, so like you can get away with having like shitty accuracy. And admittedly, the average lightning is like 65 accuracy, which is like about like as good as your average axe user can ever get. So like maybe I shouldn't talk that much shit, but like.
And as a extra bonus, they still have mage movement on desert maps, so that's a plus at least. It's only one though. Yeah, like I feel like where we have them is pretty good. And oh god, now we're in the big 3 of mounted. Where do we even start?
I don't play a game where a unit's worth is entirely dependent based on whether it joins your mounted class or not. Like, Jesus Christ, I had to play this. If this was my favorite game, I could not ever reconcile that.
Yeah, like I feel like the base classes of all of these are going into A tier, and their promoteds just going to S, because that is how useful of mounted utility is. Because
I genuinely think that like it's actually insane how good like an unpromoted Milady is.
yes, it is
like,
absurd.
Cardinal bonus is just such a fucking unbalanced mechanic, dude. That they literally just. It's such a rich get richer type mechanic, where like the good units oftentimes it's the good units that like get any better.
And like it's not even that much of a competition when it comes to some of these units, because we have your Christmas calves, which have perfect availability. We have Shauna, who comes into chapter after, and she has basically perfect availability. We have Noah and Shrek.
I'm low-key a hater, but like the way I see it is like with Shauna is like I know she's good, I just don't like using her.
That's fair. Like, as somebody who loves using her and loves her as a unit, I understand your argument. However, God, she's so good.
I just don't like the looking at my unit stats and it's like, congratulations, you have 10 strength and you're level 15 promoted.
That's fair. But yeah, there's Noah and Trek, who, while yes, I do agree that Noah's just straight up better than Trek is, I will admit both of them are pretty bad. Even though Noah's just straight up just worse. Alan, even then though, that's still really good. And then there's... God, I know that there's another...
You're thinking of Percival. No, Percival's promoted. There's no other unpromoted cast.
Yeah, Percival's promoted, so we're done with the cast. Then we have Tate, who comes in a few chapters later in either the A or B route of the Western Isles, and she's really good. Then there's a Milady. Oh God, Milady. Her only downside is her availability, and that's it. That's literally
think she joins at like a perfect time.
She does.
You don't want Milady on the Western Isles because it's all accents. And she joins right after Western Isles on a chapter where, like, with the right weapon, a Horse Slayer, she can kill like literally every enemy. And she gets like
that, but she is.
Do not fuck around. They're really like, except for the halberd, which is and the hammer, which is really bad. The Horse Slayer, the Armor Slayer, like all of the effective lances and swords and whatnot are really strong. They have good hit, 75 hit on the Horse Slayer, which is like as much as a killer lance, which is like the best combat weapon type. Like the Armor Slayer has more hit than like a steel sword. They're really good. And in this chapter like the Bridge, where you can use them that well, you would be remiss not to use them. And I like to. I've had some disagreements with people on this. I like to use it before promotion on the lady because I think that she joins at level 10, so you can insta promote her, which is true. But I think that the fact that you can get her to like level 16, you can't get up to like level 16 on that chapter. You can get her to like level 14 on that chapter and promote her. So have like an extra 5 hit that she would have had if she promoted on that chapter,
which is obscenely useful. And then there's
never really struggled with sectors.
Yeah, and then there's Zeiss, who comes in.
16 at 16.
Yeah, I know I probably said his name wrong, but still, he's still really good, as I've been proven wrong earlier about. And apparently most of the Fire Emblem 6 community, seriously, get your heads out of your asses, people. And
I think they don't like Zeus because he joins really late and he's like a late Elysian Whip unit, but also like, who gives a shit? I think the problem with Zeus is that his combat is not as reliable as somebody like Milady is because she's had more time to work on it.
Yeah.
But the thing with Zeus is that like, his worst, if you promote him, he just sits on the battlefield and doesn't die.
Yeah.
He has a lot of bulk.
Yeah. Like, seriously, there's just no bad mounted units in this game. Which is, okay.
There's one, and it's Juno.
I forgot about Juno.
He's really bad. Other than her, like there's really no bad like mounted units. All of them have some sort of use.
Agreed.
And then like once you like the promoted, okay. No, even unpromoted Wyvern Lord goes in S tier, honestly.
Okay, yeah, fair.
And then the promoted Wyvern Lord, okay, it goes Falcon Knight, Paladin, Wyvern Lord, like from worst to best.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I legitimately think that Percival is a better combat unit than Rutger in this game, and I stick to that.
You are not
Percival
the only one that thinks that. I think that too.
Third combat unit. He has like so much speed. I will say his skill is very bad.
Yes.
He's like that one, the Last Promise Paladin. What the fuck is his name? Like Howard or something. But he has the thing is like Percival has 20 strength, 20 speed, 51 HP, 15 defense, A-rank swords, A-rank lances, C-rank axes.
Yep.
This unit is actually insanely powerful. He also has 12 con, which I'm pretty sure is more than your Christmas calves have.
It's more than the Christmas calves, yeah. I think the only one who gets close is Alan, and even then I think he has 10 at base.
Let's see how much Trek has. Trek probably has. No, Trek also only has 11 con, so he's got like the most constitution out of your paladins that are like viable long term, because like Zella and Marcus, they're like early free promotes, and they do their job very well. They do their job very well.
Yes.
But they don't scale long term the way that Percival does.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's so good, man. You can slap on anything onto him, and he'll just kill enemies. You can give him silver weapons and uses them well.
Like, that's the thing. This game is so mounted heavy that it's not even frickin' funny. Like, you get so many so early on. They have some of the best weapon types with, like, some of the best movement in the game. Heck, the only reason why I would say Falcon Knight is better than Paladin is because of the fact that it, like Wyvern, has nothing to worry about. It only has, like, when it comes to terrain, it has nothing to worry about. It has...
Also,
like,
put these classes above the others, like, they're at the top of the list.
Oh, right, yeah, Obvi. Like, the only one that I could even think about coming close is, hold on, there. That is my top 5 right here.
That's like that. Yeah, that's like the And also, you know what? I think thinking about it, I think it's fine to drop Myrmidon down.
Okay.
Like it's good, but like I think it's fine to drop it down.
Welcome to A tier, friend. No, no, no. You do not deserve to be
above them. Also, like the fact that you just get all 3 weapon types as a paladin in this game is the most dumb shit they've ever done.
Yes.
What were they thinking?
I don't know.
FE6 and FE7 are the only games where they let you do that. You can't do that in Thracia, you can't do that in FE4, you can't do that in FE1, FE2, FE3. Like, it's literally just these 2 games that they were like, that was the worst thing we've ever done, and never do it again.
I have no idea why they did it. It's funny, though.
Now, admittedly, the axe availability is not that great, except for on, like, Marcus, he can use, like, the halberd. He's, like, the only unit that can really use the halberd on Chapter 4, like, sometimes. It's not a great weapon, but if you factor in the weapon triangle advantage, it is stronger than his Silver Lance and more accurate.
Yeah.
And that's like the use case with the halberd.
Blink.
Other than that, like you can use like killer axe or something on Percival if you need that extra bit of damage to kill a armor. That is the thing though, right? Because of the strong weapon triangle, you can justify using like a killer axe over like a killer lance if you really need to kill like somebody that's if you really need it for somebody that's like somebody that's using lances.
Yeah. Like, there is just no denying it. These 3 classes are insane. Like, again, you usually only get, like, 1 or 2 reps for, like, okay, the most that you get for reps in this game is Paladin. And you get frickin' how many? 7?
If you promote them, there's 7.
You get 7 paladins, 3 you get 2 wyvern lords and 3 falcon knights. That's it. That is half of your your movement space is there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Wyvern Lord is always broken. There's never been a game where Wyvern Lord is well. Okay, there's one game and it's FE4.
Yeah.
Aside from FE4, there's no game where Wyvern Lord is not insanely broken.
Yeah.
But even in this game, the fact that it's a good class and the units you get in it are good, that's not usually the case for every Wyvern. For example, in FE5, Dean is very good and he's a Wyvern, but Edda is bad and she's a Wyvern.
Yeah.
In like in FE8, you have Cormac's good and he's a Wyvern. In FE7, Vida is not a great combat unit. You know, FE9, Har is like passable. FE10, both of them are good. FE11, like you can reclass, so it doesn't really. After that's like when reclassing takes over. So it's not like it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a lot different then. But even then, like, still, you have some goated characters in this. Like, it's not even funny. I mean, it kind of is, but God, it's absurd. Hey, this is Future Ethan here, coming back to the tier list a couple of weeks after the recording is done. And me and Lag came to a consensus. Something that we noticed fairly recently, too. There are a lot of good calves in this game. There are a lot of good paladins in this game. And he suggested, and I quote, hold on. Wait, hold on. There we go. Okay, perfect. Honestly, in retrospect, Paladin is better than Wyvern Lord. Well, the thing is, Wyvern Lord has availability problems. Paladin has Marcus and Percival, and your Christmas cabs. It was almost like he was here. Don't worry, he'll be on again at some point in the future. Anyhow, yeah, this is the final ranking. I just wanted to put this in before the credits rolled, so, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it covers it, honestly.
Yeah, that covers it. Unless we want to do FE7 and FE8 right now, but nope.
There's no way. I unfortunately have a bracket to do right now.
And I don't have enough time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming. And thank you, everybody, for watching us not only praise but dog the ever-living crap out of Binding Blade and its classes. And, yeah. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.